Welcome to my channel. There was a young man who worked at a factory. He had a mentor, an old technician, who taught him to talk less, work hard, and never stop developing his skills in every aspect of the factory's operations. 10 years later, the old man retired, and the young man became a technician himself. He continued to do his work with the same dedication and diligence as he was taught. One day, he visited his mentor. The old man noticed that he seemed unhappy and asked what was bothering him. The young man sighed and poured out his heart. He said, "I have been following your instructions exactly all these years. No matter what I work on, I stay quiet and focus on the job. I know I've done good work at the factory, and I've learned all the skills that can be learned there. What I don't understand is that the guys who don't have my experience or capabilities have all been promoted, while I'm still making as little as I did before when I was your apprentice." The old man asked, "Are you sure you've made yourself indispensable to the factory?" The young man nodded and said, "Yes." The old man began pacing around the room, deep in thought. After some time, he turned to the young man and said, "You should request a day off, using any reason you like. It's time to give yourself a break." The young man was surprised by this advice, but the more he thought about it, the more it made sense. He thanked his mentor and quickly left to request a day off. When he returned to work after his day off, the manager called him into the office to tell him that things didn't go well at the factory while he was gone. Others encountered many problems that he usually handled, and they had no idea how to solve them. Realizing the young man's importance, the manager decided to promote him to the position of senior technician, to thank him and encourage him to keep up the good work. The young man was grateful for his mentor's wisdom. Surely, he thought, this was the secret to success. From that point on, whenever the young man felt like he deserved more than he was getting, he would take a day off. When he returned the next day, things would improve to his satisfaction. One day, the young man found that he was barred from entering the factory. To his great shock, he discovered that his employment had been terminated. He couldn't believe it. Not knowing what else to do, he went back to see his mentor, to try to figure out how things had gone so wrong. He asked with wounded pride, "Why did I lose my job? Didn't I do everything as you instructed?" The old man replied, "Actually, you didn't, because you only heard half the lesson." Then he shook his head and said, "You understood right away that no one pays attention to a light bulb that is always on. It's only when it goes off that people suddenly take notice and realize they've been taking it for granted. You were so eager to apply this understanding that you left before hearing the second half." The young man began to realize that perhaps he had made a big mistake. He asked, "What is the second half?" The mentor spoke slowly to make his point. The second half, more important than the first, is the realization that if a light bulb goes off frequently, then sooner or later it will be replaced with one that is more reliable. Who wants a light bulb that no one can count on to provide illumination? He added, "Look at your life. Do you have friends and family members that you take for granted because they are always there for you? What will happen if one day they are no longer there? Don't wait for that day to suddenly realize how important they are. Give thanks today for the good fortune of having them in your life. Likewise, don't let yourself be taken for granted. But at the same time, do your work and don't stop everything you do just because it doesn't go the way you want. Find balance in life, and life will reward you by giving you balance in return." In that moment, the young man realized that what he learned from his mentor was not just a lesson about work or the factory, but a profound lesson in life. Life is not merely about continuous illumination or the relentless pursuit of recognition. It is about achieving a balance between effort and rest, work and appreciation, giving and receiving. At this moment, the young man understood that if he wanted to achieve true success, he needed to change his perspective. Success does not come solely from constant effort, but from the ability to understand when to pause, take a break, and reflect on oneself and those around us. True success is about achieving balance and not allowing oneself to become just a light bulb that dims and is overlooked. So, work hard, but work smart. Respect yourself and your time, and remember that life is not a race to win, but a journey to achieve balance and flourish in every aspect. Stay motivated, stay blessed, and continue striving for balance in your life. Don't just watch, become part of our family. Subscribe now